Hey guys, I'm Little Art Demon and welcome to my channel. And how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well, and today's video is a little silly but also kind of funny. It will be about vampires. And I think that's very season appropriate with Halloween already at the end of this month. But before you get into today's video, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe. Let's get started then. And the first thing I would like to say is why I'm talking about vampires. Well, I've always liked vampires, it is one of my obsessions, but it comes and goes with time. And I recently got pulled back in for two reasons. The first one is that I started reading a Good Omens fanfic that is a vampire AU. It's really good, there are only a few chapters as it is recent, but I fell in love with the story already. And the second reason is that I started watching Interview with the Vampire. One of my friends has been talking about that show non-stop for months now, and I finally started to watch it. I can't say much about the show since I just watched the first two episodes so far, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I love Louis, I think he's my favorite character so far. He's sweet and gorgeous and I love his smile so much. And Lestat is the sassy vampire that just doesn't care about people, and I love him for that too. I don't know where the story will go, but I'm excited to see the next episodes. But anyway, those two things are what made my vampire obsession resurge, but they weren't the start of all this. So let me take you back some years to the beginning. As a kid, I don't know exactly how I got introduced to vampires. They're mentioned in a lot of shows, so I don't know if I first saw a vampire in a cartoon or something like that. Like in an Halloween special, for example. I'm not sure exactly how I got introduced to the concept. But since I was a kid, I always liked these sort of monsters. I would be like 9 and write stories of monsters living together in a haunted house and being spooky and friends and scaring people together. But the real obsession started in New Year's Eve from 2012 to 2013. And I just think that's a poetic date. 2012 was supposed to be the end of the world, and 2013 is just a fun year for me to think about, I don't know why. But what happened was I was with my two older cousins in my grandma's house celebrating New Year. And as usual, we went to the living room to watch some movies until midnight. And just to give you some perspective, I was 10 and my cousins were both 13. I wanted to watch a Barbie movie, I think it was Barbie and the Magic of the Pegasus, but I'm not entirely sure. But they both wanted to watch a different movie. My mom, I believe it was my mom, had recently bought a new DVD. It was from a movie that premiered that year, a vampire movie. The end of a saga. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, let me tell you. It was Breaking Dawn Part 2. And so we watched it. It was the first ever Twilight movie I watched, and I can't say I was terrified, but I certainly was not happy. I closed my eyes during the fighting scenes because they were ripping heads off people, sometimes not even the whole head. And my cousin's argument, you can watch it, there's no blood. I wanted to watch a wholesome Barbie movie, not a vampire war that I have no idea why is happening in the first place. But with that being said, I got intrigued. And when I was around 12, I was officially in my Twilight phase. I was Team Jacob, obviously, now I'm Team Therapy. But my favorite characters were Alice, Jacob, and Arrow. I still love Arrow, he gives me life, and he's Michael Sheen, so I love him, obviously. Alice is very cool, I loved her hairstyle, and I still do. And I think I like Jacob because he can turn into a giant dog. I know it's a wolf, but excuse me. I wouldn't pay for gas another day in my life. I would cuddle a giant puppy. What do you mean you want a cold asshole? Is it because he's rich, Bella? Because money can't buy you a dog that size, okay? It can't. Anyway, I got really into vampires because of that. I didn't get into other vampire fandoms though. I never watched Vampire Diaries, for example, but I had a friend who was obsessed with Damien. There were a few more movies about vampires I really liked, and also a lot of Wattpad stories. But this obsession kind of faded away, until some years ago. I got really into vampires for a short period, some months, because of my mythology story. There are vampires there, and besides vampires there are also other creatures with vampiric characteristics. But there was an obsession with vampires from a mythology and history point of view. I was doing research and also adapting the things I found into the universe of my story. And even if they're not the focal point of the story, I love them very much. They're classy and sexy and charming. And I love the culture I created for them. I won't go too deep into details, but I love them very much. There's something so curious about them. Not just the ones in my story, but vampires lore in general. I know they're supposed to be bloodthirsty monsters literally, but the appeal was always there. I don't know if it's the eternity aspect, the beauty frozen in time, the sticking the teeth on someone's neck, I don't know. But there's something there. I would like to one day write a vampire romance, not gonna lie. I don't think I have a vampire story yet. I have that mythology story that includes vampires too, but it isn't focused on them. But one day I might write one. I don't know, I have too many ideas. And now I'm back in vampire phase, ready for Halloween. I think I just really needed to draw some vampires to get it off my system. So there you go, I drew myself as a vampire. I have to watch some more episodes of Interview with Vampire, and there are also some vampire movies I would like to watch. And if you have any suggestions, you can leave them in the comments too. But to summarize, I think vampires are cool and it's fun to ramble about this stuff. So thank you for listening until the end. I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and comment your favorite vampire story or character. Subscribe so you don't miss future videos, silly videos or otherwise. Thank you again so much for watching, I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!